Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy DrDeez. We are back with another video. Today, we got a very special guest. We got my main man, Fastidious. How you doing, bro?
How you doing, everybody? It's we've been collabing a lot lately, so it's nice that I get to be on your channel. This is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you joining, and you know, I feel like this is going to be a really good video. So we are doing the top 3 most underrated heroes. And when I say underrated, for me personally, I don't know about your list, but for me personally, I'm doing heroes that are not the meta, you know, we're not talking Silas, Komet, those guys. I'm talking about heroes that, you know, the unsung hero, the one that I use the most whenever I have a strategy and I need something to work out, and I need a big time booty clapper. I'll use this hero, and it's not one of the meta heroes in the game. Is that how your list is going too?
Yeah, I definitely don't have any Silas or Comet for sure. I mean, what I tried to do is heroes that maybe people already know are good, but kind of sleep on them because they're like not the best. But like for a lot of accounts, they kind of are. So that's kind of the approach I took. I kind of think like if you guys can light up the comments, right? Like let us know your 3 booty clappers in disguise, right? There's a lot of ways you could view this because yeah, I think you guys will think probably your heroes and my heroes are good, but I just still think they're freaking underrated as heck.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, hey, that is a good way to look at it. I guess that's basically the same way I'm doing it as well. Let's go ahead. Let me pull up the gallery real fast, and we'll get right into this. So, do you want to kick it off with your number 3?
Sure. Yeah, I actually didn't put them in order. I can do that right now, though, if you want. Well, you can do my number 3. This is my I have 1 support on my list.
Okay.
So if you want to go to the Infernal Blast, we got a healer. Also one of the most beautiful heroes in the game, Aylin.
Aylin, okay.
I think Aylin's just insanely underrated, even by me. Like when she came out, I was like, yeah, she's a good healer, but that's kind of it. But I think I really take that back because people talked about this when I put out a lot of content for Beelzebub. They were like, he's kind of like a cost generator. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And they're like, well, he's just so cheap compared to other options. It saves you a bunch of costs. And that's kind of a way to think of Aylin. She's 6 freaking costs. She's the cheapest legendary hero in the game. It's pretty crazy. You're getting so much for just 6 costs. Basically, you can quick deploy another thing. So especially for early and mid game accounts that are progressing through stuff, she makes comps so much easier, in my opinion. And you've clicked on it right now. That ultimate, if you go to hero details and do max level, we can see that true range. That ultimate range is stupid. It's like as big a range as we have for anything in the game. You know, it's like an off-shifted Yuri range, or it's like Layla's ultimate range, but that's her range for everything. And it's pretty spicy. She does proper AoE healing, which actually, if anyone wants to look, there's very few like actual AoE healers in this game. So it's really good healing, really good range. She's dirt flipping cheap. And then the biggest thing of all, if you want to go, and I believe it is, yeah, her first passive, Lunar Heaven, that skill's crazy. So it's like basically like baby Pharisee. But her range is so big and so unique that it's really powerful, and it still goes up to 15%, right? So 15% damage mitigation, and it's Pharisee's AoE only. For Aylin, it's everything. So again, especially for progressing, it's just anyone in range always is going to receive less damage. This obviously requires a little bit of skill ups, but I don't know. I feel like the deeper I've gone into the game, you know, everyone knows she's good in healer codex, stuff like that, but she's so good in Guild Boss 2. If people don't have Pharisee, you can get 120k APOC 2 with Aylin. Combine the costs, the range. I just think she's a really cool unit, and because she's just a healer, people sleep on her. But this is a booty clapper in disguise.
Absolutely.
With a pretty nice booty, to be honest.
Let's take a look. Oh, okay, right there. No. But I completely agree. I mean, the 6 cost is definitely what sells her, right? Everything you said is 100% true. And, you know, I sleep on her too. I barely use her, but the only thing I really use her for is Immortal Codex. But like you said, people in the early game, mid game, I mean, she is the ultimate healer. She's just got heals for days, and she only costs 6 with an amazing range. So for number 3 for me, I actually went with an epic. This epic, I mean,
I didn't even know we were allowed to do epics.
Oh, okay, my bad. I was just thinking of underrated heroes, right? Everyone knows this chick is good. But how good is she? Because she is an absolute beast, and you can use her. I mean, I'm not even joking. Whenever I have a campaign, Void Rift, I used her for Gear Dungeon 2. She absolutely clapped cheeks for Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10. I couldn't do the strategy without my girl right here. We got my girl, Estrid. Estrid is an absolute beast. And like I said, we all know she's good, but she's just so versatile because of her cleave. She's got that range. Here, let's take a look at, oh no, it's when she hits her ultimate.
Only do the ultimate.
Yeah, during the ultimate. This range it just absolutely deletes everything in its path, and it is an amazing range. And on top of that, not only does she have that, she also has the defense reduction minus 20%. I mean, it's amazing. She is.
Well, and actually, it's minus 30 with the skill ups, right? Yeah.
Correct. Minus 30. You know, I was. Okay, hang on.
No, it happens to me all the time because like you want to show stuff off in the gallery, but they don't show it max level in the gallery, and then you look at it, and then I saw it in your face. You're like, am I remembering wrong? Like, but no, it's stupid.
Yeah, because I actually pulled her up on my account, not in the gallery, and I was like, oh, 30%. Yeah. Okay, yeah. When it's fully skilled up, 30%, which is the big boy defense reduction. So, you know, she's just the ultimate clapper of cheeks. You can use her on almost everything. I mean, honestly, what really put her on this list for me was the fact that she cleared Gear Dungeon 2. It was that left side. That left side, she absolutely deleted everything in its path on stage 10. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Honestly, couldn't do it without this chick right here. She is a beast. Would you agree that she's underrated?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows she's really good, but I still think she probably is underrated because she's like the best epic DPS in the game. Like, she's crazy. Absolutely. And you kind of touched on it. She's really insane for progression. I wanted to shout it out. I have on my gallery open. I just want to quickly check Valeriya to make sure I'm not wrong. Okay, I'm not. So Estrid also has the highest attack of any fighter in the whole game. So combine that with the fact that she puts out pretty consistent 30% defense drop, like the cleave you talked about, and she already has the highest attack. She's really phenomenal. And then the defense break makes her really viable in the outside of just stuff like Gear Dungeon 2, Gear 8.5. Like, you can use her in Guild Boss too if you need a defense break. I mean, that ties with Hot Sit as like the biggest defense break in the game. She's just so cool. Absolutely.
And like I said, I know that she's good, and I know that a lot of people know she's good, but she's just absolutely amazing when it comes to heroes on my account. And she's probably one of my most used heroes whenever I need to put a strategy together. So I figured I'd throw her on this list.
Yeah, it's also because you talked about using her on the left side. I use her on the bottom for Gear Dungeon 2 usually. So like she's really versatile. You can kind of do a bunch of stuff. The only thing I think we should point out, if you go to the Awakening 1 for any new players watching the video, this is like so worth the Soul Stone. It's insane. Because then she gets like the 2-tile range on the basic. It's crazy.
Correct. Yeah. That definitely does help. And well, newer players in the game probably don't have her, but once upon a time, this is only like what, 2 or 3 months ago, we all got her for free, which was
that was
pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, dude, they should make her a fusion or something, because like she's so good, it's crazy. You know, also she used to be like tied for the rarest epic in the game, so she was really hard to pull. But now they like neutralize the epic rates, so hopefully more people start getting her.
Absolutely.
You want to know a fun thing about Estrid? This is before both of our time, but before global launch, the Foreigner guys told me she was like the most meta unit because her defense break was 100% uptime.
Really?
Actually, and they ended up having to nerf it. It's still pretty good uptime, but it was 100% uptime. So she was like in like every boss comp, like, you know, back in, you know, whatever, 2022 or whatever that was.
Well, I definitely did not know that. So you learn something new every day. But she's still a beast even after the nerf. So we definitely have her in there. So who do you have at number 2?
Okay, I got a new hero again in the Infernal Blast, actually. With this, I'm kind of going about the degree I think they're underrated. That's how, because I didn't originally have these in order, but I've got Xena. Who's one of the newest heroes. I think, so Xena is like, when she's on the field, so if you don't know, if you want to click on her ultimate, basically you deploy her, and then for 20 seconds up to 25 seconds with max skill ups, she's in this like crazed state, and then it's done, and then she can't ult again unless you pick her up and you redeploy her. So she's weird, right? She's really weird. But when she's freaking down, those 25 seconds, she's as strong as any single unit in the game. Like her multipliers are completely outrageous. So she's niche. Obviously, she's niche because of this. But if you get her early enough or even later, but you just need help with a couple things, she's the best at everything she's good at in the game. So I just think because she's like a common hero, so I think a lot of people have been pulling her. She came out right around Thanksgiving, which was like, we had just gotten Kagiri and Sun Wukong was coming and they gave us Callista for free, and Eris came and Lyra came, and, you know, I feel like she kind of got lost in the shuffle. but she's just kind of nuts. Like she also has that qualifier in her kit. Let me see where it says that. Oh yeah, it's in her ultimate. Basically, if there's more enemies, her multipliers go down, but she starts doing AoE. And if there's less enemies, her multipliers go way up. So it's like pure single target. So she's really versatile. Later, you know, if you get her early, you'll cycle her in and out for everything because she's completely busted. But eventually you're like, I have to cycle her in and out. That's annoying. But like in that middle lane, DrDeez, you know, in Gear Raid 5, Gear Dungeon 2, she's the best in the game. Better than Hex, better than Soul Kitten. She's by far the best in the game. If you want to even cycle her in Guild Boss 1, if you're doing any Laurel comp and you're running Infernal and you want a cycle unit, she's the best cycle unit in the game. Correct. Yeah, so and then if you get her early, those are the really two end game uses. And if you get her really early, I mean, she's strong enough that you don't care that she has to be off the floor for a minute at a time. She's gonna do more in the 25 seconds she's down and then the 1 minute she's off than the average hero can do in like 3 minutes on the field. So
absolutely,
I just think she's really good.
You know, this is actually going to be similar to my number 2. I got a guy that does exactly what she does. You have to cycle him out because of his burst damage. The longer he's out, the less or the more his damage rate goes down. But he is an absolute beast. Here, hang on. Which faction is he? I think you're in the right
Zarus.
Spot. Yeah. Zarus. Yeah. Okay. So we got my main man Zarus. I'm not even okay. I feel like how you felt about Xena is how I feel about Zarus. I
actually like Zarus even more than I think Zarus is so good. I couldn't even put him on an underrated list.
Oh,
but
really?
Maybe you're right and I'm wrong because maybe people don't get it. But please tell us because he's so good. It's crazy.
So I just use him in a lot of different strategies. Like I lay him down and like same thing with Xena. You don't have to cycle him out as fast as Xena, but at the same time, you do have to cycle him out because eventually his ultimate will go down to only 1 Soul of the Damned and he's basically doing no damage. But you can use him. Anything where you need massive AoE damage, Zarus is the man for the job. Again, I was going with heroes that are not meta in the game. I wouldn't say Zarus is meta, right? But at the same time, his burst damage is definitely one of the best in the whole entire game. And I think he's definitely underrated, just me personally.
Yeah, he's really easy to use too.
Correct.
Which is pretty cool. Like, especially if you're just gonna, that first time you put him down, you don't just get to summon the 4, he like auto summons an extra 3.
Yep.
Which is just 7. And then if you got him A1, I actually have him A2, but if you got him A1, it's 9, which is just like,
the burst damage just becomes unreal with this guy if you get him to A1. I actually just got mine to A1 recently, that I was testing him out. I mean, he just deletes everything, guys. We're talking anything where you need AoE damage, Zarus is the man for the job. But, you know, some people in comments have told me that, oh, you know, I just don't like cycling him out and I don't like the fact that his damage goes down. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I do so many strategies with this man right here. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean, if people need a sell, I don't have Kratos, so I run, and actually, well, let me really sell it. And I only recently got Ingrid. So before I had Ingrid, I was comfortably an Overlord for AoE Arena every single week with Zarus and Morgan. And like, and then I don't know, Valkyria or Ardia, whatever I use, like some busted ass comp, but I was still beating Ingrid and Kratos. And now, like, I haven't tried it yet, but I feel like I could probably get to Apex if I took the time. I like don't lose an AoE Arena with my like Ingrid Zarus comp. Because you get such an early lead, because the second Zarus goes down, everything dies. Literally the second he goes down, he one-shots everything. And I'll say one more cool thing about Zarus. You talked about his AoE, and his AoE is crazy, because everything he does is AoE. But especially on that first deploy, when you get to trigger the talent, he's still good at single target, too. Because it's him and 7 friends just going crazy.
Especially at A1. You get him to A1, it just gets nasty.
It's disgusting.
But, okay, so now we've got number 1. I don't know if you had these in order, but your number 1 most underrated. Who do we have, Fasti?
No, this is who I think is number 1 in the game for underrated. And can I tell you something? It's Infernal again.
It's Infernal. Okay, so you're an Infernal guy.
Well, not even that. I just think we've gotten to the point with like Nightmare Piercer. It's I think Infernals have become underrated. Like people tell me someone asked me the other day if they should sell Twin Fiend because they had Soul Kittens. Like that's the point. It's like, oh, actually. Let me be honest, because I don't remember who it is, so not even that I have to say, like, no offense. Maybe you should, I don't know. Soul Kittens is strictly better than Twin Fiend, but even still, it's like to the point where people are like, oh, do I even care about this faction besides Soul Kittens? I feel like that's how some people feel. There's so much good stuff in here. but even if it's off meta. So to me, Setram is the most underrated hero in the game right now.
Setram.
I think because Setram was so meta and now he's like not, people act like Setram isn't good, which is insane. It's insane to me. Like, he's always been a little underrated because he destroys shields, right? So he's so good for Guild Boss 1 progression, which is the most important piece of progression content in the game. And because he's so good at the shields, you don't see, it doesn't show up in the final numbers because that shield damage doesn't count, right? But all your other heroes are all doing more damage because Setram ulted and took that shield down in 4 seconds, you know?
Yep.
So like they all get to put their real damage into not the shield because Setram takes down the shield. Nothing will carry you to Guild Boss 1 like 50k faster than getting a Setram. You know, unless you pulled every meta hero, like getting that A3 Hex is not going to be as powerful as getting that Setram as you're progressing. You might be saying, oh, I did it when I got the A3X. Yeah, well, then you probably weren't min-maxing and doing your strategies, right? Like, I've done a million Guild Boss 1 takeovers. There's no bigger game changer for someone like just trying to push that next thing than Setram. So because he's a Guild Boss 1 hero and people only care about Guild Boss 2 now, and everyone's end game and late game, you forget about the fact that he's the biggest oil to the wheel of your progression ever in the game. People sleep on him. And then I think people forget that he's still kind of insane for tons of other content, right? It's like Guild Boss 2, he's usable. He's not bad. He even does stuns. It's like fine. Gear Raid 3, he's always been good. He's never been meta, but he's always been usable all the way up to 21. Styx, he's still the top guy in the game, right? Completely and utterly meta. Void Rift, for certain Void Rift stages, he's the best unit in the entire game. He's the easiest campaign carry you could possibly get besides like Boreas. Because his range, if you go to his ultimate, his range is the biggest range in the game besides Idril.
Yep, right here.
No, if you go to his ultimate, because actually his ultimate range gets even bigger. That's his standard range. His ultimate.
Oh yeah, his ultimate range. Yeah.
so for campaign, he's crazy. He's fairly easy to build because you don't really need to put attack speed on him because he maxes out his attack speed during his ultimate.
Correct.
He's okay for torrent. He's not really good for PvP, but he's good early game. Like if you're an early game GVG or early game anti-air. So I just think people act like he's a one-trick pony Guild Boss and he doesn't do a lot of damage. It's just all wrong in my opinion. Setram's my boy. I love Setram. He also has my favorite skin in the game, which it seems like we'll never be able to get. It was like the first or second, maybe the second leaderboard skin. But yeah, he's just an awesome hero. And people sleep on him, and it makes me angry. Like people, I'll be on stream and I'm pulling for someone, and I pull them Setram, and they're like upset, and I'm like, "You're crazy. You're a crazy person."
I mean, I would agree. Setram is still about that life, like you said. Styx, he's still the meta. He's still the top dog. He's still the biggest booty clapper when it comes to Lord of Styx, and you can use him in almost anything. And you even brought up GVG. You know, on my free to play, you know, my guild is well. Once upon a time, they were a little lower. Setram was actually the big dog for my GVG for a while until the guild started to get a little better that we were going against, then I had to rotate him out. But to your point, earlier game, mid game, Setram can be that guy even in GVG. One of the most versatile heroes, especially because of his range. So I definitely agree. I like Setram on your list.
Yeah, I think it's just so many people just like they only think about the end game, and it's like most players don't even reach the freaking end game, and the ones that do were going to reach it without anything because they were either going to grind their way there or pay their way there or both, right? They're in it for the long haul anyway. Setram helps you with all the things you need to do to get there. So like, yeah, to be fair, if you're someone that he's still a rare bucket hero, right? He's hard to get. So if you somehow never pulled him and then you've beaten everything and then you get him, you're like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll use him in Styx and that's it. I get it. Also, I would think he'll still be good in content to come. We'll see. But that loses sight of the fact that like if you get him kind of early, he's just insanely good. He's amazing.
Correct. So that's kind of similar to the route I'm taking with my number one. This is a chick that she comes. The thing that makes her so special is the fact that she comes with unyielding. I mean, we got my girl Valeriya. She is the Ginger Viking. I absolutely love this hero right here. Ever since we first got her into the game, she has been one of my number ones, and that will never change. Like I'm telling you, anytime you have an elite or a boss, like I'm talking Void Rift, campaign, I did a strategy. I forget which chapter it was, but it was a really, it was one of those strategies where the boss will delete everything. Guess what? He deletes everybody except for Valeriya. Valeriya stays alive. She has one of the best burst damages in the whole entire game. And at the very end of her ultimate, right before she dies, she just lays it all out and the booty clapping commences. She deletes them. I mean, this chick is the bomb.com. I think that, in my opinion, she's still one of my most underrated heroes and one of my most used heroes. I mean, you can use this chick in almost everything. And like you said, early game to mid game. I know Nightmare fighters are a dime a dozen, but there's none like this chick right here that will actually carry your account through a lot of content. And it's mainly because of her unyielding. I think it's, she also does vulnerability, physical damage, which is nice as well. But this right here, unyielding. I mean, she stays alive for, I don't know, how long is it? Like 6 seconds, I think? Is it 6 seconds? Or
I think,
10?
can you click on it?
Oh, where's it?
If you click on unyielding, maybe, I think.
No, it just says will not die from taking damage.
Frick, I should know this.
I thought it was.
Oh, it's just until the ultimate dies.
It's just, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's until the ultimate dies, and then after the ultimate times out, she just does a massive amount of damage at the end of it.
She really does do a big burst. I like, sometimes you don't even realize it, and like if you're doing her in like Gear Dungeon 2, like you're like, oh, I didn't kill that last archer, and she just explodes, and you see like 400,000 damage, and you're like, that's pretty good.
I mean, you can use her. When it comes to a fighter ground unit, if you need a fighter ground unit, you can use her on almost anything, especially when it comes to bosses and elites, especially in Void Rift. She carried me in Void Rift. Torador. I mean, I'm telling you right now, her and Silas, I did the ultimate duo. Honestly, it's like peanut butter and jelly. Silas, Valeriya, that we just absolutely delete whatever boss it is. Torador, Lasir, I use both of them for Lasir as well. I just use her for almost everything.
She's so good. I use her whenever I don't do Lasir takeovers that much, but you know, once a month, I always use Valeriya. She's like probably the best we've got for it, unless they have like Hex with an exclusive. She's crazy. She was my 4, I guess. I was deciding between her and Xena, and I figured I'd do Xena because she's like new and people don't talk about her. But I love Valeriya. She also has crazy awakening. She gets super strong.
Yep.
I think she's kind of underrated because if people don't know, she used to be like busted, and I honestly kind of wish they didn't nerf her. Basically, it always read like this, that if she triggers unyielding during her ultimate, after ultimate she dies, but she used to not die. There'd be like a brief pause where you could heal her, and then you could heal her back up. So she was like, if that was the case, she would be so good in Guild Boss 2. It'd be crazy.
Oh yeah.
But she's still good in Guild Boss 1. You just have, the timing's tricky now because you got to make sure she doesn't get hit at the end of the ult. But she hits crazy hard. If you run her with a Chaos Lord, because she like basically is like about to kill herself, the multipliers are so good. So insane. I 100% agree with you. This is a great peer to end on. She's just so good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that we have Fasty's what's the word I'm looking for? You gotta
leave that in. You've got to leave that in.
What's the word I'm looking for right there? I'm glad we have Fasty's
very good looks.
Okay, that's not the word I was looking for. Hang on. I'm glad we have.
What are you looking for?
I'm glad we have.
Describe it.
Because you agreed to it, like
like seal of approval or something.
I guess approval.
Thumbs up or something. Check.
I don't fucking know. Here, hang on. Okay.
You should leave all this shit in, dude. You should do it.
Okay. I'm glad Fasty agrees. All right, let's go, baby. So number one, we number one, we have Valeriya on the list, and man, she's still one of my favorites, man. I mean, shoot, anytime they come out with the new content, I always try her out on it.
Dude, I also gotta say, it's the end of the video, so by the end of the video, like 90% of the viewers are gone. I think maybe I can say this, otherwise you can cut it. She's got the fattest knockers in the entire game by like a mile. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, in the armor,
like in the armor. Breastplate. It's crazy. It's crazy.
No jiggles though.
Dude, because otherwise they'd fucking hang down to her waist. Come on.
Oh shit! Should I leave that in?
It's up to you.
Oh man! All right. Well, that's a good one. But yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate you joining the channel today, and I think that was a good top 6, I should say, because we didn't have any of them that was on the same list. So top 6 underrated heroes. You guys let us know what you think. Fasty, do you have any words before we go?
No, I was gonna say, I want to read the comments. Like, definitely let us know who you think. I probably thought about like 8 different ones that I really like. I mean, that's a cool thing about the game. There's a lot of really good heroes. We in the video we just did on my channel, we focused on the ones that definitely are not underrated. They shouldn't be rated at all. But no, there's a lot of really cool heroes. And yeah, dude, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Not a problem. But that's all we got for tonight's video. You guys have a great rest of your night, and thank you for making it to the end.
Bye bye.